Hi, I'm Tinny from Mini Bowl Design, and today I'm working on my boat that I just bought from Tower Hobby. It's an Atlantic Harbor tugboat. So let's go inside and take a look at it. It's made by Aquacraft, and it comes with a Futaba 2-channel radio. Okay, in a nutshell, here's the boat. It's a pretty big boat. You can see it's like 30-something inches long, and it has a lot of detail to it. It's almost an exact copy of the real thing. Now, the light isn't good here, but whether you can see it or not, it's got lights. It has lights, green one on this side and red one on the other side. It even has lights up here in the pilot's cabin, and if it was nighttime, there's lights also in here so that the portholes, it looks like there's a 100-watt bulb going inside of the main cabin down here. I'm not real up on the nomenclature of boats, but anyway, very nice, excellent detail, very well done, well painted, nice finish. That's the upside. Now let's take a look at the downside of this thing, which is the electronics. Okay, here we are over on the other side now. I'll just give you an overall look of what everything looks like. It comes with a wooden crib that it sets in for display. And this compartment back here opens up and comes off. And in there is maintenance to the rudder, so you can get in and adjust the rudder. Okay, now up here there's a latch, and you move that, and this is the boiler room where everything goes. Now it's got a standard 540 cheapo car motor in it, and one Aquacraft servo, which is probably just a Futaba servo. Looks like a standard 120 Futaba servo with one rod that goes back to the rudder. And it has two AA batteries here that go over to a switch that's dedicated to the lights. You can see I'll turn the switch off and the lights turn off. And that's hooked up via a plug, and there's another plug here for whatever else you want to run on 3.3 volts. Now, here's the bad part. I've taken the gear out of it. It came with a standard 2-channel Futaba receiver and a very cheap 2-channel Futaba radio. Now, the radio was extremely hitchy and not smooth when you pulled on the trigger. It was just basically a piece of junk. And even with that, it would still work. But the real problem was this speed controller that came with it. It was a BEC speed controller, forward and reverse. But there's no adjustment on it. It was potted in epoxy, and there's no adjustment for the center point on it. And the problem you ran into is if you adjusted the trim on your radio, you could adjust it so that the forward would work fine, and when you let off the stick and the stick went to neutral, the boat would come to a complete stop and the servos wouldn't buzz or anything. But when you went to put it in reverse, you had just a little bit of hitchy reverse. You didn't have enough travel to get reverse, and the trim pot wouldn't let you get into reverse, so there was really no way to get to reverse. I took all the radio gear out of it and hooked up another radio that had a regular stick on it instead of a steering wheel and trigger. And by holding the stick back off center, I could get reverse pretty good and forward real well. But when the stick was in the neutral position, the propeller spun for forward speed, and there wasn't enough trim on the radio to trim it out to a neutral point, and no trim on the speed controller. So basically, the speed controller is a piece of trash. I took it all the covering off it. There's no adjustments on it whatsoever. It's a preset piece of trash. Looks like about a $3 speed controller. And that's the real downfall of this model. If it wasn't for the speed controller, the radio is usable. What I'm going to do is I'm going to buy a modern adjustable speed controller with forward and reverse, and for a boat, and then we'll be all set and it'll be nice. And then we'll take it out on the water, and I'll do some movies of how it works that way. But I wouldn't recommend buying this boat from Tower Hobby because the electronics are really, really bad. And after I used it for 5 minutes, this coupling where the motor hooks to the propeller, the set screws fell out of that. The lights didn't work, and the speed controller didn't work. Other than that, pretty good boat. So I'm Tinny from Mini Bowl Design. Get out and hike, play, preferably with a radio control boat, and more important than anything, have a great day. Bye-bye.